All right, let's talk about something we've all felt. You could be a coach, a manager, a parent, it doesn't matter. You know that feeling when a conversation really connects? It's like the secret sauce, right? But what about when it doesn't?
I mean, have you ever been in one of those conversations where it just feels like you're talking in circles, like you're stuck in a loop? You're doing everything right. You're asking these great questions, but nothing. The energy just fizzles out. You're not getting anywhere.
And our source material for this explainer from Val Mullally just nails this feeling. She says the dialogue circles back on itself. The client stays guarded. That's it, right? That frustration of hitting a wall. We've all been there.
So let's break that down. Let's really look at the anatomy of one of these conversations that just goes nowhere.
Because here's the crazy part. On the outside, it can look totally fine. You're using all the right moves, asking those deep, thoughtful questions, leaving that perfect amount of silence. But you can feel it in your gut. Nothing is actually shifting. You're not getting to the real heart of the matter.
So, if it's not the techniques, then what is it? What are we missing? Well, it turns out there's this one thing, this single, almost invisible thread that's holding everything together or letting it all fall apart.
So what do you think it is? What's that missing ingredient? The one thing that can take a conversation from totally stalled to a genuine breakthrough? It's one word. And it's so simple, but it is everything. It's trust. That's the foundation. It's the bedrock that every single meaningful, transformative conversation is built on. Without it, we're just back to talking in circles. And I love how our source material puts it. It calls trust that invisible thread that weaves through and strengthens every single one of these important conversations. That thread is what makes someone feel safe enough to actually lower their guard and talk about what really matters. And that's where the real change happens.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting. Trust isn't just this one big, vague idea. Our source material breaks it down into 4 distinct layers, and they all have to work together. So what are they? First, self-trust. Second, relational trust. Third, trust in the process. And fourth, trusting the other person. When all 4 of those click, that's when the magic happens. Let's take a quick look at each one. Layer 1, self-trust. And honestly, it all starts right here, with you. It's that confidence you have in your own abilities, in your gut feelings, and in your power to just be present. Because think about it. If you don't trust yourself, how can you expect anyone else to? All right, next up, layer 2, relational trust. So if self-trust is internal, this is what you build between the two of you. It's about creating this bubble of safety, right? A totally non-judgmental zone where the other person feels like, okay, I can be vulnerable here. It's safe. Then we have layer 3, trust in the process. This one's about believing in your method. And it doesn't matter if it's a formal coaching model or just your own approach to conversation. You've got to have faith that the structure you're using actually works. That belief is what gives the whole thing a backbone. And finally, layer 4, which might just be the hardest and most important, trusting the other person. This is all about letting go of control. It's truly believing that they are the expert in their own life. They have the answers. Your job isn't to give them solutions, it's to help them uncover the ones they already have. So, what happens when all 4 of these layers line up perfectly? Well, the result is kind of profound. It completely unlocks the potential for real, genuine growth.
And the difference it makes is just night and day. Without that trust, you're stuck. Conversations are guarded, they're stagnant, they're hesitant. But with that trust, that's when you get courage. You get those aha moments of insight. You get real transformation. So really, that's the big takeaway here. When all these layers of trust align, you're creating a space where insight goes deep, where change isn't just a flash in the pan, it actually sticks. It's a place where courage and creativity can finally, breathe and grow.
Which leads us to the final and most important part. Now that you've got this framework, the real work starts, and it starts with looking inward. So I'm going to leave you with this question. Think about those 4 layers we just talked about. Your trust in yourself, the trust in the relationship, trust in the process, and trust in the other person. Which one of those, if you just focused on strengthening it a little bit, would completely transform the conversations you're having?